You know what, man? I'll be honest. I used to be one of those people really rooting for Papoose. I thought he was getting the short end of the stick and that folks were being unfair to him. And to some degree, I still feel that way. But lately, something just doesn't sit right. You ever get that gut feeling that something's off, even when you can't quite explain it? Yeah, that's exactly what this feels like. Ever since Papoose started seeing Claressa Shields, his whole energy seems different. Now, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with Claressa. She's strong, successful, and definitely not unattractive. But if you look at the pattern, it's interesting. Papoose went from being with Remy Ma, a woman who's accomplished and well off, to Claressa, who's also financially secure and doing big things in her lane. It's starting to make people wonder if there's more to his choices than just love. At first, I didn't think twice about it. I figured maybe he just found someone new after things with Remy fell apart. But now, seeing how things are unfolding, it's hard not to question his intentions, especially since Claressa just had a major fight when she won. The spotlight's back on her, and conveniently, Papoose is right there beside her again. Even Tasha K, who's known for being loud and controversial, had something to say about it. And while a lot of people don't usually take her seriously, her take this time actually made sense.
Claressa has been taken advantage of her whole life. She's been boxing since forever. I don't know her childhood, but I do know that her best friend who grew up with her came out and made some rather disturbing videos about Claressa being taken advantage of when she was younger as a young boxer by her coaches and getting pregnant and things like this. And so when I see people like Papoose enter the Cash App requesting money from people like Claressa, after Remy has already warned us that, he preyed on her when she was in jail. He wasn't making no money. It was Remy's money. And she said she put everything in his name, only to come out and then have to work. And then he's getting the benefit of the solid black man, of the black man that's holding everything down. So when I look at this same thing possibly being done to Claressa, and she's slow by default, and I'm talking about slow as in, she probably got some early stage, some issues going on, being knocked around, it does have an effect on your brain and on your cognitive thinking and stuff, and you're not able to see straight. And if she was already taken advantage of by her coaches, surely it's easier for a bum like this to come in and take advantage of her too. And so when I saw his latest post after her fight, after he let her get out the car with that Beyonce butched outfit on, I was a little disturbed by that, because I said any man in their right mind would have told their woman, no, we're not going to post the outfit just so we can reiterate and y'all can bash her for how awful she looks. But her man let her get out the car like that, okay? And then he was her hype man beside her. And so after she won, again, she's undefeated, he decided to take...
According to Tasha K, Claressa Shields has been taken advantage of by people around her for a long time, especially some of her trainers. Tasha even mentioned that Claressa went through a difficult period during her pregnancy, yet continued to fight through it all with incredible strength. Recently, Papoose made a post congratulating Claressa after her major win in the ring. He wrote, "Huge congratulations to my love, Claressa Shields, on your victory. You gave a boxing masterclass. The way you balance family life and still chase perfection in your craft is inspiring. You're a true queen. Being mentioned among the all-time greats is long overdue and completely deserved." He continued, "I'm glad I could add value behind the scenes as part of your team. Special thanks to my Win Records family." But this part caught Tasha K's attention. She pointed out that Papoose subtly made the moment partly about himself, highlighting his executive role, leaving many to question whether his support for Claressa is genuine or simply self-promotion.
What is a behind-the-scenes executive standpoint? What does that position entail? Exactly. What behind the scenes? Claressa was winning before she met you, but because she been getting knocked around by people and by her coaches, I just feel like Papoose is a virus that just refuses to let his hair just fall out. And he sees black women doesn't the same way that Tyler Perry doesn't. Wants to take credit, and then from a behind-the-scenes executive standpoint, meanwhile, you the main person causing the problems. You won't get a job.
I had to really take a step back and look at this situation. Let's start with the obvious. Nobody really sees Papoose as some big-time executive type of guy. Yes, He's got a position over at Tunacore, probably making a decent salary, maybe around $200,000 a year, and he's listed as the head of hip-hop. That sounds respectable, but let's be honest, he's still working for someone else. He's not running his own empire or calling all the shots. So when he starts talking about being an executive in Claressa Shields' boxing career, that just doesn't line up. If you think about it, his role in music doesn't really connect to boxing at all. It's like me running a small content studio and suddenly deciding I'm going to manage a professional fighter. It just doesn't make sense. What it really looks like is that Papoose might be getting a little too involved in Claressa's business, possibly trying to benefit financially while being personally involved with her. Now, if that's what's actually going on, then it says something about where he is in life. It suggests that maybe Papoose isn't as financially stable as people assume, because if you're truly secure in your bag, you're not trying to manage your partner's career to make some extra cash. You'd already have your own thing going on. Claressa can't really jump into his world and elevate it because, from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like he's built anything that she could add to, and that's where the issue begins. When Remy Ma, his ex, called him a user or hinted that he wasn't really handling his business like a man should, people took notice. I mean, as beautiful and talented as Remy is, it's hard to argue she didn't have a point. The pattern is starting to look a little too familiar. When I see how Papoose moves, it's like he's always behind Claressa, supporting her, showing up, cheering her on, which is great on the surface. But it's still not a good look, especially when you go from one unstable situation into another. Papoose is now in his 40s, and at that age, you should have your life, finances, and priorities together. Chasing after a younger woman who happens to be successful and in the spotlight doesn't exactly scream maturity. If anything, it gives off the impression that he's trying to stay relevant by association, and that never works out in the long run. Because eventually, when a woman realizes she's carrying the relationship emotionally, financially, or otherwise, she starts losing respect for the man. She starts thinking, what are you even bringing to the table? That's probably part of what went wrong with Remy. At some point, she stopped seeing him as her equal. And now it's starting to look like the same thing might happen with Claressa. You can't keep repeating the same cycle and expect different results. If you're a grown man in your 40s trying to build your future on someone else's success, you're going to lose respect not just from women, but from other men too. Because there's a big difference between being supportive and being dependent. Real respect comes from standing on your own 2 feet and having something solid to bring to the table. So, for any man listening, if your woman makes more money than you, that's fine. But stay out of her business. Don't try to manage her career or tie your income to hers. Let her shine and focus on building your own lane. The moment you start relying on her for stability, you lose your power and your pride. And as for Papoose, man, it might be time to take a hard look in the mirror. You've had chances. You've had strong women by your side. And yet, you keep ending up in the same kind of situation. At some point, it's not the women, it's you. So what do y'all think? Is Papoose genuinely in love with Claressa, or is he just trying to secure a comfortable spot next to her? Success? After a while, you have to ask, is he being a loving partner, or is he just freeloading? Because there's a big difference between being supportive and being dependent. If he's really doing well for himself, why does he have so much time to be constantly by her side? Let's be real, most men who are grinding and building something don't have time to shadow their partner 24/7. And if you're working as an executive at Tunacore, that's not exactly top dollar compared to what successful YouTubers, entrepreneurs, or even independent artists can make these days. So seeing him always trailing behind Claressa gives the impression that her bag might be way bigger than his. And honestly, I don't like the look of a man who seems to live in a woman's shadow. It feels unbalanced. Think about Jay-Z and Bianca. Jay-Z supports his wife, but he's not hanging off her every move. He's got his own empire, his own identity. That's what real balance in a power couple looks like. But here, Claressa seems to be the one shining while Papoose is playing catch up. So the question becomes, is Claressa basically paying for his lifestyle now? That's what it's starting to look like. And even though Tasha K has a reputation for stirring up controversy, she might have a point this time. The way she framed it, that Claressa might be getting taken advantage of emotionally and financially, isn't hard to believe when you look at the pattern. Let's also not forget Papoose's history. There were rumors, and even his own admissions, that he had a gambling problem. He reportedly lost a valuable watch that belonged to Remy because of his bad habits. That's not something you just brush off. When a man shows he's not financially responsible, that tends to follow him. So it's not shocking that people are skeptical about his intentions with Clarissa. And while it's not fair to say Clarissa should have known better, because love can make people ignore red flags, it's still worth questioning. Let me know what you think in the comments. It's your boy Jackson back again with another breakdown. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories just like this. Until next time, stay sharp and keep your business solid.